Hi.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Please welcome to the next episode of Call of Cthulhu.
Please welcome to.
Yes, because it's a funny malaproper. Oh, there it is. We got the sound going now. Yes, welcome. It's good to have you all here. This is a little bit too loud for me to talk and think at the same time. That's fine. And anyways, we're doing more Call of Cthulhu. It's been a couple of weeks, but fortunately we will have no planned absences going forward for a little bit here. I would like to welcome everyone once more before we get started. Welcome.
Heyo.
We have
Hi.
our group of investigators here, and we're ready to get forward. Who remembers what happened the last time we were here?
We just did the seance. Or we ended with the seance.
Yes, you ended with the seance.
We investigated that powder.
You investigated the powder a little bit. You ended with the seance.
I did some very funny phone calls.
You had some trouble with phone call. This is true.
Oh, yes. Then
And-
we went to the police station.
You did go to the police station, and you saw some dead bodies.
Couples. Yep.
Well, basically, we're picking up at the very end here. You've just completed your seance. There is still, truthfully, a little bit of time before your appointment, shall we say, with the Lavoie family. So you have some time that you can go ahead and do something. Any last-minute grabbings of things? Or if you wanted to look into the powder that you actually managed to find at what was his name? Henri Auberjon? There we go. You noticed that he had a fine piece of ornamental armor that had a similar looking powder on it. So you could go and get that tested and get the results of that relatively quickly if you wanted to.
You said that we did that, and it was powder that the doctor was using.
Yeah, it was on the armor, the suit of armor.
Oh, yeah, right.
You just gave it to us, pretty much.
I did give that to you. Yeah, so you know that the powder that was used to polish the armor was the exact same chemical composition as the powder that you had found on the hands underneath the nails of that one gentleman in the blue blazer. So that was a mystery thing if you wanted to look into that, or if you wanted to, we could just skip straight ahead to the thing. The reversal of the curse, rather.
Walking in there with guns and gasoline.
It's probably
Not
not the best
suspicious at
idea.
all.
Yeah. I feel like, how much time do we have left until the meeting? Like,
Enough time for like one or two more things.
So we got our gear, and then, yeah.
Should we, if we have time, to investigate maybe around that tomb-like place or something like that? Something that might help us out there. We haven't been to really too many other locations around the mansion yet, right?
Yes, you haven't, but there's no like tomb-like place at the Lavoie Estates.
Hmm.
The Tomb Lake place was below the church, and you've already investigated there thoroughly.
Okay.
Damn, I'm really not sure.
Well-
there's the riddle. I don't know. Should we revisit that?
Which riddle? The one that was in French and on the tombstone?
Mm-hmm.
Was that or
Yeah. Oh yeah, that it was. It was. We had Edge translate it, and then I think we had something that may have been connected to that one. I think it's been a little bit. I need to check through my notes.
Certainly, I can get you with that. I just need to. It's in the Mount Royal Cemetery. So the stone epitaph. I will give this to you all. Share records. The three-legged bear points the way. Never make a bull frown, for then the raven will not stay. So, the bowl, you have assumed it to be the bowl that's used in the curse that was placed on the Lavoie family.
Mm-hmm.
And there
We
was
saw the three-legged bear.
You did see a three-legged bear. You don't know about the raven, though.
Yeah. The only raven thing, like I forget who saw it, but it's when we just got there. There was like a raven flying away or something, and that was like noted. But,
Yes.
Yeah. It's just not in order, but
Well, if the bear says like it points the way, then maybe we should start with that part since it's the only thing that we have the clearest idea of the three lines.
mm-hmm.
So I believe that Johnny had seen something that looked strikingly similar to it. Where was that again, Iggy?
You had seen a bear that you were described as being three-legged, like a maimed bear, on the Lavoie property.
Okay, it was on the property somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Celine was like, "Oh, we got like animals that are injured or something, just wandering around." Yeah, you wanted to see more of the bear.
Right. Yeah. And then every animal we've come across has been seemingly injured in some way or has something to them about it. So
Yeah, true.
Those themselves might be connected.
Well,
Mhm.
I guess keep in mind, you did see, like, there was that dog. You did see how that dog got injured because it was slashed across the eye with a knife.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Well, it seems like the strongest lead we have. I don't know if anyone else, because we've already looked into a few other aspects of what we have evidence of. So that's my thinking toward taking in that direction. But if anyone else feels like there's something else to check first,
The only other thing I can think of is there's that when James Andrews was talking to us in the seance, he said the name of a god, but we couldn't really, like, I don't know if we even know if we could have even understood it enough to like know how it's spelled for research.
I will tell you that, like, that this kind of research is not something you would find in regular occult books or mythology books. This is a part of the air quotes deep lore, because I had you have a roll before for the Call of Cthulhu mythos, and all of you failed that.
Yeah, we didn't do good on that.
So you don't even have any idea where to start looking. So now would not be the time for that. You would need some more dedicated research time for that. But I guess from the point of what it sounds like now is you all just kind of want to head towards the Lavoie estate.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to do.
Mm-hmm.
Me neither.
That's okay. Let me have a look-see here. I need to find day 3. Day 3.
Yeah, I feel like we've researched everything we could that we have access to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we've exhausted all of it, but we have researched, I think, everything pertaining to this.
Oh, actually, here's the thing that you could look up a little bit more. You could look up, you could do some more research about Luke Garu.
Oh, the shape changer or werewolf or whatever it was, right? Okay. I thought we tried. Didn't we attempt to do that? I think Rowlga did it.
You got a little bit of information, sure. But
wait, there's more.
There could be more.
Yeah. I think we could go into it a little bit deeper. We have just a general sense of how to oppose them or what's they're weak to or whatever it is, but we don't really know much more than that, I think.
Yeah, truth be told, I guess you have gotten all that you can from that looking through things.
Yeah, and there might be scant reports on it anyway or something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we can show up early and just say, like, we want to make sure the coast is clear for our work. Or that we need time to lay the groundwork for the breaking of the curse. And we can make excuses.
Yeah, you can head there, absolutely. Okay, so I guess it sounds like you're going to all... Hello, Gamma Cube. Welcome. Sounds like you're all just going to head over to the Lavoie Mansion. You will be greeted by... Let's see here. You'll be greeted by Celine, and she will smile at you all and say, "Oh, thank you all very much for coming. My father will not be here until 7 p.m. Unfortunately, we will not be able to start without him, but please make yourselves at home. Let me know if there's anything that you require."
Okay, so wait, so basically she just said that we can't start before who gets there? I'm sorry.
You can't start until her father, Jean-Claude, arrives.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is it okay if we take a walk around the property?
Oh, yes, of course.
Oops.
Nightbot.
I forgot about that. Let me take care of that. Speaking of, how are you feeling after all those peppers?
I missed the pepper.
There's a Johnny Cash song
Enough
that
said.
I think applies.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I guess some of us could try and go around, take a walk, quote unquote, and just see if there's anything we can find or
Find this bear, find this raven.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that.
Right. We don't have a whole lot of time, and I think we may need to split up, depending on how much time we have left, if we want to check more than one area.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. You can do that. I'm just gonna split you arbitrarily. Let's say like you all just kind of go off on your own directions to cover more of the grounds and look around spots. You You can look. You can kind of look around and investigate inside of the house. You can have a look around the guest house. There's a bit of a wooded area in the back there.
I'm gonna head straight over toward where the where we saw the bear when we were here before.
Okay, that was going into the wooded area.
I'll go with him.
Okay. The two of you are heading over to the wooded area. Make a spot hidden roll for me, please.
Spot hidden.
Ooh, dang.
I'll find an animal.
Darn right, and both of you will. Make sure you check your spot hidden skills. Yep. Okay, so as you're looking around, you actually come across some tracks. And it looks like, let's see, Tavish or Ty, you're actually a
zookeeper.
A zookeeper. So you can tell just by looking at this, like, okay, yeah, cool. I found some bear tracks, and you're looking around, and you notice also as well in this wooded area a few like odd circular imprints that are like crossing over where these bear tracks were.
Like, about how big are these circular imprints?
They're not very big. You say probably about the size of like a cane.
Or a peg leg?
Or a peg leg, maybe.
Because I've had my suspicions.
I'm sure you have had your suspicions. Give me an idea roll.
Idea.
Just him?
You can do it too, but it irrelevant because Ty got it.
Okay.
So Ty, this is a wooded area. It's not maintained at all, really. There's no bear scat or any animal droppings in this wooded area at all.
Does a bear poop in the woods? Apparently not.
Apparently not.
That's strange.
And from here, let's go somewhere else. You can be looking around the guest house. You can be looking around the general house area or some other parts of the grounds.
I'll be looking at in the house, I think, in the main mansion.
In the main mansion, all right. Excellent.
Because, I'm like, I like art. Maybe they got some nice, like, art.
Yeah, you're just admiring some stuff.
That's my excuse, because,
Well, you were here early. You're just killing time. It's a totally natural thing.
Okay.
Roll listen for me, please.
Oof. Oh, crap.
Okay. So you just continue looking around. You're admiring some paintings. Are you looking for anything in particular other than like your cover story?
Well, I'm also kind of looking at things that might be weirdly animalistic, maybe. Like, I don't know, like I'm just, at the back of my mind, like thinking loup-garou, at the same time.
Oh, yeah,
there's
certainly.
Hints.
There's not really anything that's out of place for a mansion in this era. Like, there are some, like maybe there's an elk head artistically over a fireplace somewhere, or that sort of thing. Nothing that's out of place that you find. As you're looking around, though, you hear a voice from behind you saying, "What are you doing here?" And you turn, and you see that it is Celine's brother. You haven't really met him very much, but
Okay.
He's here.
Okay. Well, we got here early for our investigation, and I was just looking around, admiring the beautiful home and art. I have an art background, so that's why I'm.
Oh, I see. And he looks to you, and he says, he switches over to French, actually, and he says, "What are you doing with these anglophones, anyways?"
Well, I have always been, traveling because of my profession, and I've made many friends along the way, including people who speak other languages. So
I mean, you could also just straight up mention, "Yeah, I met them in America."
yeah, I met that. Yeah, that's it. We met in America.
And he just says, "Oh, no, that makes a bit more sense if they're Americans." My cousin always wanted to go to America, though unfortunately he passed away before he could.
I'm guessing he died young, because maybe in your family, I would guess traveling isn't probably not that big of an issue, money wise.
Yes, he did die young. You've met my uncle. Oh God, why am I blanking so much? Well, he just says you've met my uncle, the drunk, and you did meet him at the at the train station when you first arrived. And he says that it was his son. He died young. It was unfortunate, but c'est la vie.
Right. I'm sorry for your loss.
It was a long time ago. And he usually just says, "Well, I will leave you to what you're going to do. I have an appointment to make before 7. And he nods to you and he leaves.
Okay. Interesting.
And now we're going elsewhere. So, is anyone going to look at the guest house or the regular other parts of the grounds?
I think I would be interested. Johnny would be interested in checking the guest house. Maybe Warren could come with him, since he was the one that had noticed, had gone through what had happened there. And
yeah, he had the vision in the magic circle.
Yeah, so maybe he would notice something I wouldn't.
Yeah, you can certainly give that a go.
Otherwise, I could check it. We're all armed and we all can defend ourselves individually, unless, I don't know, Purple, if you think you want to try to go a different direction, we could do that too.
No, that sounds fine.
Okay.
All right, so the two of you kind of make your way over to the guest house. You're investigating around a little bit, kind of looking at it from the outside, and there's a bit of a bad feeling in the air, just like from being outside, just because you know kind of what was in there at the time, and
Yeah.
you're a little bit like, I just don't know. Like there's something that's setting like your hackles are being raised. On the back of your neck, the hair
Right.
is up.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, but a bit more visceral than that.
Hmm. Okay.
As you're looking, actually, Celine comes by,
Ooh,
and
much better.
she sees you there, and she seems a bit confused for a moment, but she smiles and says, "What are you doing here? It's not yet 7. My father hasn't arrived. Are you just preparing in advance, or is there something else that I can help you with?"
Oh, yeah, we're just making sure that the grounds are safe and nothing else happens to you or your beautiful home, and so on and so forth. I try to give her as much reassurance as I can
Is it
without saying anything.
is it
Of
okay
course.
that we're here, or do you not want us
Given
around
us
right
permission, I think.
Yeah,
she did.
you did have permission to make yourselves uh, comfortable before the events of the evening, and
Mm.
she smiles at the both of you and says, "Oh, messieurs, you can relax, please. We have some time uh before you have to do what must be done. I truthfully have no idea what it is that you will be doing, but please come inside again. Gather your friends. Enjoy a nice drink before you get down to this horrible business of magic and curses and what have you."
Uh-oh. Well, at such a nice offer, I don't know if I'm getting the best feeling from this. Trying to
Okay, so here's the thing.
yeah.
Out of character, absolutely. In character, you are for this. This is the character that you have developed.
I have been quite enamored with this woman, even though I'm very suspicious of her and her family. Out of character, I guess I would be inclined to have a drink with the mademoiselle one more time.
Yes. Warren, what's your take on that, though? Like, your buddy Johnny is whipped.
Yeah, I mean, but like, I mean, we came to investigate the building, and so getting another look on the inside isn't a bad idea.
Well, she wouldn't be taking you inside the guest house for that, because it's like it gives you the heebie-jeebies being around it.
Yeah.
But if you want to take it as an opportunity to explore the inside a little bit more, the inside of the main mansion, that's okay as well.
All right.
I mean, my character doesn't really drink that much, so he would. If he goes, it would be to get inside the building.
Okay.
All right. Well, she
Oh.
yeah, she takes you on back to the mansion. She takes you to her, not her private quarters, but obviously, like, this is a spot that was set out for her, a sitting room of her own, rather. And she sits down, and she beckons you closer, both of you, and she selects a nice fine rye for the both of you, and hands you your glasses. And she says to you, Warren, would you mind looking for the rest of your party? I I would love for them to all join us.
I'll look at Johnny and kind of give a smirk and be like, "Yeah, sure."
Little nudge over there. Okay.
Oh, Warren, you're a good wingman.
I'm like, "Sure, I'll be back shortly with the rest of our entourage." To use, that's a French word, right?
It is a French word.
Yeah, there we go.
Except you said it entourage. No, you didn't. All right, then.
I appreciate it, man.
So, Johnny, it's just you and Celine now.
Oh boy. All right.
And
We'll see if she likes raccoons or not.
she takes a seat on a love seat.
Oh.
And she says to you, I cannot thank you enough for your volunteering to assist my family and I with this. It is, truthfully, we did not know where else to turn because none of my family could do anything about this. Not myself or my father, my brother or my two uncles. None of us could even step foot in that horrible room.
Oh. Yes, it must be so difficult for you and your family, and I just wish I could do more.
And she's sitting there on the love seat, looking at you a little pointedly.
Huh.
And she takes a sip of her own beverage.
Okay. Do I make a roll now? Or anything like that?
Are you going to sit with her?
Oh boy. Yeah, I think I'm going to sit with her.
You're going to sit with her. Okay, so you take a seat with her, and she smiles, that same smile. She takes your hand in hers and gives it a squeeze and says, ever since we first met, you have been such a gentleman. I am, truthfully, I am a little bit afraid of what might happen tonight. I don't want anything bad to happen to anyone.
Well, I'm, just as God made me, ma'am. I'm just doing what it goes, natural for me. And I'm sure that we can continue to keep you and everyone safe.
She holds a look at you for a few moments, and it's then that Warren returns with the rest of the group in tow. And as soon as the others arrive, she squeezes your hand once more, stands up, and gives you all a nice glass of this fine whiskey. But she says, I'm sure you understand, I will only be giving you all a single glass before the proceedings this evening. I do not wish to cloud your heads.
Why would we need to have clear heads exactly?
She frowns a little bit at that, and she says, you're reversing a curse. It is... Certainly it will not help if you're inebriated. A small glass of rye certainly is one thing, but we can't have you shambling drunk.
Yeah. Some
Very
pretty
true. Very
crazy
true.
stuff we've seen, but yeah, that's true.
And one glass will give us a little courage, at least.
A little bit of Dutch courage, but not enough to make you sloppy. Basically,
Mhm.
basically
Okay,
it.
one glass it is.
Okay, and then
It smooths the edges a little bit.
and suddenly Edgar disappears because there are no more edge.
Ah,
Sorry, that was a bad joke.
I'm just very smooth.
Just smooth as butter. Just slide right off him. All right. So 7 o'clock comes around, kind of shortly after this moment,
okay.
and Jean-Claude arrives, and as he does, Celine stands. She smiles to you all and says, "Best of luck, gentlemen," and leaves to leave you with Jean-Claude. And he beckons you all to come with him to his office. And once you're all over there, he says, I'm glad to see that you have all kept your appointment. It is certainly a great help. Is there anything that you require before we begin the proceedings? Or should we be getting straight to it? Did you have any other questions for me or anything?
Now, kind of huddled, not talking to him, but we have everything we need for this, right?
Do you have everything you need based on all the information and research that you've done? You know the steps of the curse of the
Right.
spell, and you, based on Jean-Claude's suggestion and your corroborating research, it does seem like in order to reverse the curse, you have to do this curse backwards, basically each step backwards.
Right. And there was some blood involved in this curse. Do we need some of their blood?
Yes, you will need some blood of one member of the family, or some hair or something. So you will need some blood from someone, probably Jean-Claude.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good thing to bring up now.
So this is gruesome to ask of you, Jean-Claude, but what we found that what you suggested was true, and to reverse the curse, we need to do all the steps in reverse, and one of the steps involves blood of your family. Oh, would anyone, yourself or any of your relatives, be willing to supply this blood in some way?
Yes, I am certain that I will be able to provide you with that when the time comes. Is there anything else at all?
I think we're good.
No. Okay.
Yeah,
No.
I think so.
No more questions, quibbles, conundrums, quips, concerns, nothing?
I'm concerned that you're asking this.
Listen. It's my job to make sure that you're all on edge. So everyone sit on the bird.
Oh no.
We have to be yeah. I feel like he wouldn't divulge much more than we know now. So I don't know if it would be that big of a risk to go forward.
Okay.
So I would say go forward.
Yeah, I agree.
And he says, very well then. We will go forward.
One question.
Yes.
What do you make of Lucian's epitaph? Have you seen what, especially the raven? The raven will not stay. Has there been a? Do you know what that might mean? Have you seen a raven around lately, around the estate?
I truthfully do not know what my father's epitaph meant. He was, as I'm sure you remember, he was quite insane at the time of his demise. He insisted on writing that epitaph for himself. He knew he was dying, the doctors told him, but I do not know what raven he refers to. I don't know what this bear is. I don't understand it at all. It's the ravings of a lunatic.
Mm.
All right then. I guess we should be on our way.
All right, and he says before we go, he pulls out his checkbook and he starts to write some checks for the proper amounts that was agreed upon. Although he has not yet placed his signature, he says, "I will fill these out once the ceremony is complete. I will finish these up, and we'll be good to go." No?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we appreciate your confidence.
And just as he's finishing, he stands up, and you all head on out. You are making your way to the guest house, but just before, or rather just after the door opens, you hear a scream through the air.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Is it a male or
Scream,
female scream?
a scream from two throats tear down the hallway of the guest house.
There's no scream button in that thing.
No,
Ah.
it's not called that. Anyways,
Two different throats.
yeah, a scream from two throats tears down the hallway of the guest house. Jean-Claude, his face tightening with realization, dashes down the hall towards Lucien's bedchamber. You follow. Inside the candlelit room, Celine and Stefan sprawl across the red glowing sigils on the floor. Shocked, Jean-Claude cries, "Qu'est-ce que tu avais fait?" What have you done? He's too late. The glow fades as sister and brother collect themselves and rise up from the floor. "Why, father," Celine says, "you taught us to look out for ourselves first, and that is exactly what we have done." Groggily, Stefan explains, "We turned to the blood. Fortunately, due to my ties with them, they were willing to provide us with a method of escaping the spell. Grandfather was a thorough man. All those with our blood cannot. All those with our blood are affected. However, fortunately, we have found us another way out. The curse no longer holds us, father. We have nothing to fear anymore." And he stands there dumbstruck for a moment before he says, or rather before suddenly, both Celine and Stefan's eyes flash a brilliant yellow. Her face becomes shorter as her mouth widens to compensate for extra teeth. Stefan's hands grow, the fingers becoming claws. They twist and smoke, and they transform into a panther and tiger, respectively. Sanity check, please, everybody.
Oh boy. Sanity.
Oh no.
Okay. Everyone fails, it seems.
Except
Hang on.
Tavish.
Except Tavish. Ty, you have obtained you lose 1 single sanity. Everyone else loses 3 sanity.
Ouch.
Wow, I guess I've seen this before.
People metamorphosizing in front of you, it doesn't seem to bother you as much.
You work around animals; they don't scare you.
That's my fetish.
It's a little loud there.
Me?
No. The combat music I've decided to pull up, apparently. With feline glares, they smash through a window and bound and disappear out into the night, leaving their father to his fate. Enraged, Jean-Claude runs to the window and then turns back to face the party. This is your fault, you're meddling. Quickly, you must reverse the spell. Before you can answer, you hear the thump and thump of a man with a peg leg walking. Behind you, you see the face of a man who you saw a few days ago. The man who was attempting to kidnap Celine. The false conductor.
Oh man.
He introduces himself. Hello, I am Hugh Lavoie. I'm here to ensure that you finish this job. This spell affects me as well. So, what are y'all gonna do?
How many of us are needed for the ritual?
I guess just one person. Technically, but my question more was mainly, are you going to reverse this spell, or are you going to, not?
Yeah, because it seems like now it's, I don't know. They don't seem like the good guys anymore.
Well, we can't.
No.
We can't leave 2 werewolves just running around.
Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But the curse doesn't affect them anymore, so it's like, ooh, even if we reverse the curse, like they're still like, yeah.
well, they're still a danger to other people.
We have 2 options: we reverse the curse, or we kill them.
So you are going through with the curse reversal?
Yeah. I think we should.
So wait, so reversing the curse means they will all be able to transform again, no?
Does it? I wasn't actually. This is out of character. I wasn't here the day that you guys learned all the details about the curse, so I kind of need a.
You don't actually know what the spell that was cast on them was.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just I assume that, you know, since they're like, oh, the curse no longer affects us and they can transform again, that means, you know, the curse is like, it prevents them from transforming.
But we saw the bear as a bear at one point.
Yeah, true. I'm so confused.
There's two people.
Yeah.
There's two people standing here in this room that might have an idea what the curse is.
Mm.
So maybe we should,
Ask them.
ask them. Maybe not so nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We need answers.
Okay, so what are you gonna do in character?
Yeah, Chris, I sense you're pissed off about this whole thing. Let's go. Let it out.
Okay. God help me here. I'm going to brandish my revolver at Mr. Conductor.
Mm.
And it's like,
Remember, he's fast.
so's a bullet.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you brandish your revolver at Mr. Conductor, and then what?
Explain this curse now. What is it? How does it affect you? Why did they transform? Why were you trying to take them back on the train?
Mm.
Mr. Conductor Man, Hugh, he seems perfectly calm, as if you were not pulling a gun on him. And he tuts slightly and he shakes his head. He says, well, simply, it was an act. We were searching for some folks who could do this, obviously. We ourselves could not undo the curse. Celine played her part perfectly as the damsel in distress.
She did say she is an actress too, right?
She is an actress.
Mm-hmm.
He explains, we needed people, or person, that was brave and foolish. Someone who would be captivated by her charms, willing to do anything to help her. Even a crazy, insane, magic sort of thing. Luckily for us, you and your companions already knew that magic was a reality. Because... well, no, sorry, not because. That magic was real. Therefore, you were the perfect ones to pull in. We did not have to explain many things to you. We merely told you how to reverse the spell, which we had discovered already, made you think that you were doing something important for a few days, and brought you back. The spell, simply put, forces us to lose control of our transformations. More and more, we give in to the animal side of us. We begin to lose time that we spent as beasts, rather than having the full control that a loup-garou should.
Hmm.
For some reason, our father wanted the curse to die. Wanted the curse to die with our family line. If the curse were completed, we would be turned into beasts forevermore, losing our human minds entirely to the beast. Reverse the curse, and we will be set free. And then we will be able to deal with my dear niece and nephew the same way that we dealt with our brother. That foolish dog. He tried to tell you to look into the epitaph. The three-legged bear and the raven are us. My form as a loup-garou is a bear. Jean-Claude's is a raven.
Damn.
The epitaph, translated properly, one might say, says that the three-legged bear points the way. That would be myself. Never make a bull frown. Never reverse the curse, for then the raven will not stay. Or else, Jean-Claude will not be trapped in his raven form.
Oh, so he was trying to tell us that.
From the grave, unfortunately. But you didn't manage to discover what my father meant. Not that it matters. Right now, either you do this reversal of the spell, or we find someone else to do it after we kill you.
Crap.
Oh. Well, yeah, we're definitely gonna solve this curse then.
Or,
Yeah.
or we don't.
Oh my god. Because, yeah, like,
You think that's for the best, Chris?
They said that they had been given information by the blood. Are you in league with the blood as well?
That does not matter right now. You don't need to know the answer to that. What you need to do, he says, as he reaches out towards you, Chris, and grabs you by the wrist. He aims your arm so you're pointing directly at his chest. Is simply reverse this curse. So will you do it? Or will we have to kill you? You're pointing right at his chest there, Jay.
Yeah. I pull back the hammer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm not letting animals like you run free.
He laughs. Okay.
Uh,
It's a combat screen coming up now.
Standing by the window, Jean-Claude's eyes suddenly glaze over, red within red. He jumps, throwing his arms out to his sides and folding his legs up near his chest. All it takes is a single scream, starting as a man's and ending as a bird's. A night black raven blends into the dark surroundings, so that you can only see its wide red eyes. Before you can pull the trigger, Hugh throws your hand to the side and drops to the floor. He arches his back, and his spine seems to stretch through and melt into his long coat. His smile quickly transforms into a wild snarl as he loses his face to thick, black hair. The shredded clothes and wooden leg disappear, revealing a massive black bear with only 3 legs. Roll sanity again.
oh.
All of us?
Yep.
I mean, we just saw this trick. It really shouldn't affect us at this point.
Okay, so
Man.
wait a second. So those of you who lost 1d3 sanity points earlier, you can only lose up to a maximum of 3 from seeing this sort of thing happen.
Mm.
Those of you who succeed only lose one sanity point.
Okay.
So, wait. So how much do we lose? The ones that failed? We don't
3.
lose? 3? Okay, 3.
You can lose a maximum of 3 between the two sanity between the two sanity checks. Sorry.
I see what happened. It was supposed to be a 1d3 roll to see how many we lose, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, you didn't say that, so I'm gonna.
Sorry. Everyone roll the d6.
Okay.
Yep. It's d6.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I'm where I should be.
Okay, so yeah, those of you who rolled, we'll count the d6 as being like 2d3s, and you lose up to a maximum of 3 sanity points. So Edgar, you lose 2, everyone else loses 3.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And okay, here we are with the combat tracker. Everyone take a look-see at it.
The cross swords icon.
Yes, cross swords under tool.
Right, so is the raven the size of a raven?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Quick, Edge, talk to it.
That's racist.
Sure.
Yeah.
Look at it, it's a bear the size of a bear.
Hurry, chirps.
Yeah, there is a bear the size of a bear. Yes, this is true. Okay, so here's something fun. Where's the button for this? Faction, friend, targets, combat, space and reach effects. Okay. This is a little loud. Here we go. Okay, so, Crystal Ball, you have your gun out.
Yep.
This means you gain a 50 to your initiative if you're going to attack with the gun.
Absolutely.
All right, so you actually go first in the order.
Nice.
I'm gonna shoot a bear.
You're going to shoot a bear. All right. Make sure you roll to shoot.
Which of these would be the one to roll then? Shoot.
The percentage. The 20 percentage.
Fail.
Ooh.
You fired and you missed, sir.
I fired and I missed.
So, yeah, you take an aim at the big old bear. But you realize you've never actually fired a gun before, and the recoil makes it so that you fired entirely off.
It just knocks you backward.
And
That might be
the
good.
sound is loud and deafening, and it scares you a little bit. Jean-Claude will be next in the order. He will swoop down to scratch at you, Chris, from behind, because you just attacked his brother.
Okay.
Smartest thing, better only do like 1 damage.
He rolled an 8.
Oh, damn.
An 8 against what?
Do you want to try to counterattack, or do you want to try to dodge?
I'm gonna dodge.
Okay, roll your dodge. 60.
I did.
You did do it, but small problem with that is, like I said, he rolled an 8, so we got an extreme success versus your hard success. You could spend 16 luck to avoid this attack.
I will do that.
Okay. So here's how I envision things happening. Jean-Claude goes to dive at you. You're still recovering from the recoil of your gun, and luckily, that staggering step you take makes it so that the Raven dodges you. Or you dodge the Raven's attack.
Hmm.
So next in the order is Edgar. You currently do not have a handgun drawn.
Okay.
You could do so and take it out. However, please remember, the weakness of the loup-garou is fire.
Wait, do we have... Well, I don't have anything on me that does that.
Oh,
You did. Everyone bought some torches.
Some torches? Like gasoline?
Gasoline torches. Yeah, like actual, like for welding or something.
Oh yeah, right.
Also, what's in the room? Like, is there a fireplace?
Yeah.
Is it lit?
No.
Fuck. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I take out the torch from my coat. I don't know, and yeah, I try to light up the bear.
Try to light up the bear? Okay, you're gonna try and light up the bear. Let's see. I'm gonna count this as a maneuver, so brawl, combat brawl.
Nice.
Oh, nice. That's very good, actually. And Mr. Hugh Lavoie, what do you actually want to do? Hugh Lavoie will try and dodge, but... Oh, he does not.
Are you throwing those
Okay.
drawers in?
I used the setup, like Rise of the Herald, the setup.
Yeah, I know, but the roaring just kind of it felt too perfectly timed.
That's okay. Okay, I need to look up other forms of damage.
Yep, there's a were-raven the size of a raven and a were-bear the size of a bear.
Just a bear?
Holy shit!
Okay. Sorry, I really should have had this up earlier, but oops.
No, you're fine. Do I have to roll for damage or something?
Yeah, I'm looking up how fire damage works real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let me pop open a module here and see if I can help.
On page 124, except this is a module thing, so...
Combat...
I would probably ask also if one of us distracts them, if the other one can try to make a torch out of or light a fire and then make a torch or something. I don't know how much time that would take.
I can deal with this question later.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, it's a table.
Oh.
Where? What?
There's a table for it.
Where is it?
I'm looking. Options, effects, modifiers. That's not it. Spells? Nope. Beast? Nope. Traditional horrors? Nope. Deities? Nope. Mythos? Nope. Reference manual. Table 3, other forms of damage under C6 in the reference manual.
That just says minor, moderate, severe, deadly.
Well, severe would be fire, running like a flamethrower or running through a burning room. That says fire.
Okay, I don't think 1d10 is severe, considering that a Molotov cocktail is 2d6. Actually, no, 1d10. Yeah, alright, yeah, fine. Edgar, please do us a favor and roll 1d10 damage. 9.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
nice.
Okay.
I like that the ultimate form of other damage is called splat.
Pretty great. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, good job. So, Edgar, you bring out the fire and you just like... You don't even care where you hit, you just want to start burning this guy up, and the bear roars out in pain as you hit him with this blowtorch, basically. And he lights on fire.
Goddamn.
Ooh.
And that is the end of the turn. Johnny, you're next.
All right. Well, I have my firearm, I guess. I think I'm going to try to just pull it out and take like a pot shot at the bear. I mean,
All
it's
right.
not gone, so I want to at least try to hit it with more damage.
Yep, you can go right ahead. You aim and fire. So... that's the 45 revolver.
Right. Oop. I did it twice.
You fumble with your revolver.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So, what happens with this fumble is you not only miss, but you miss, and the bullet fires out, and your gun is now jammed.
Wow. Great.
Like, you were so unprepared for using a gun, and it's jammed, and you can't do anything with this gun anymore.
All right.
At least not in this combat situation. Let's see. Cristobal, you already had your turn. Warren, your turn.
Where's the Raven currently?
The Raven is
He's
flying in the air.
flying in the air.
Uh,
What is there like a table in the room?
Yeah, but okay. When I say flying in the air, you're still inside a room. Like,
Yeah.
you could fly. You could like reach up and smack him with your hand. But
I know what I'm looking for.
okay.
So there's a table in the room. Is there a tablecloth on the table?
I see what you're doing. Yes, there is.
Cool. I'm gonna pull that sucker off.
Okay, so you pull it out like a magician, and I know exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna try and net him. This is beautiful.
Yes.
Do a combat maneuver. So
Oh.
brawl, technically.
Brawl. Okay, let me move this combat tracker out of the way.
yeah. Also, Iggy.
Yes.
That first shot I took should have had a point blank range modifier, but we'll let it go.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Holy shit! Nice.
Oh. See, here's the thing. Because this is a flying enemy, you would have had to have a half success. Like, so a regular success wouldn't have been enough.
Oh.
Wow.
But you rolled a 9, so you did it. Like, you pulled this out, and you just like fashioned yourself this most beautiful net out of this rotting, or semi-rotting, musty, disgusting tablecloth, and you've trapped it around Jean-Claude, and you have him. And I'm gonna call this as basically the same effect as you're in a grapple with him.
Okay, sorry, I had to sneeze.
That's okay. All right. So Ty, you have a bear on fire, and you've got a bird in the hand, and
2 in the bush.
And this bird, like, you could just easily just go up and just set him on fire.
And that is the plan.
All right.
I've been
then.
wanting to use this blowtorch since yesterday, since I was in the store.
All right then.
Don't set Warren on fire.
Yeah, well, the
Like-
rolls will determine
Hanging
that.
up the tablecloth.
Okay, so you're gonna roll with a bonus die.
Okay, how do I do that?
So you just roll your regular percentage on your brawl maneuver, basically.
Actually, I think if you hit that +1B and then have rolled, it would have included the bonus die, but that's for later.
Let me have a look,
don't-
Lou. Let me give
I
this
don't know
a
what
try.
that is. Oh, down there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I already did it. I got...
That's in
Pretty
fact
good.
exactly how it works. If you do the +1B, that's exactly what it works.
So what kind of a bonus die would that have been?
Another D10. Basically,
D10.
you want to see if you can. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, no, the 12 is better than what you got. The second D10 replaces the 10's digit.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. You could spend 1 luck to make an extreme success, and I suddenly forget what an extreme success does in this situation, because he can't do anything.
Well, you know what? It's just 1 luck, and let's rock their world.
All right, you're gonna rock the world.
I spend that luck.
Okay, I'm gonna say you probably are doing extreme damage or something. So go ahead and roll 1d10 plus 1d6.
Oh, that 10 didn't take.
Oh, okay, so beautiful. So, in a moment of, like, perfect synchronicity between the two of you, Warren has captured Jean-Claude. And you immediately come up behind with this blowtorch. And you set, like... Warren quickly ties a knot at the bottom as you set it on fire at the top, and the raven just bursts into flames inside of this burning, smoking, moldy, disgusting tablecloth.
You really have it in for that tablecloth.
Listen, it's been there for a while, and you have to drop the tablecloth because it lights up as if it was like soaked in gasoline for some reason.
Jeez.
And on the floor, this bird flaps and writhes and struggles and dies. And it's on the floor, and it's dead. And your turn is over, and now it's the black bear's turn. So, you tried to shoot a gun at him there, Cristobal.
I did.
He's definitely going to, try and claw at you.
He is slightly on fire, though.
He is slightly on fire. Wait a second, where... that health didn't actually take earlier. Where did that health bar go? There we go. That's better. So... He's actually going to... Since he's on fire, he's going to grapple with you.
That's my trick.
Turnabout's fair play. Okay, so he's going to attempt to grapple you. And what do you want to do? Do you want to roll to avoid? Or roll to counterattack?
So
If you roll for counterattack, I'll let you have the point blank shot bonus.
I don't want to get hugged by an on fire bear. I'm gonna move.
Okay, so you're gonna dodge.
Yeah.
Okay, check your dodge skill.
Do I have one? Yeah, I do. There it is. Okay.
All right, you succeed in dodging away from this flaming bear, and he flops to the ground, and he's rolling on it as if he's trying to smother the flames, but does not succeed. And this guy's dead.
That makes that turn easy.
It's actually your turn, Cristobal, because you have your gun out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Point blank shot.
Yeah, that whatever the loud microphone voice said. Point blank shot.
Roll a bonus die.
Fail.
Failure. Since I didn't give it to you last time, roll one more bonus die, actually. Roll one more d10.
That was probably not...
Yep, nope. Alright, you fired and you missed. Sorry, bud. I love you.
Yes, maybe we should have gone to the shooting range before this or something.
Yeah. It was the thing of beauty. I was watching it, and you're like, okay, shooting 20%, shooting 20%, shooting 20%, and I was just, I had such joy within my heart. I was like, oh, they think they're so cool. Oh, but they don't even have any points.
It's fine.
All right, Edgar, your turn.
So since he's already on fire,
You can burn him more.
I can burn him more. Okay, let's burn more.
Pour more fire.
Let's torch.
That'll be a brawl. Okay, incredible.
Nice one, Rowlga.
Roll a d10.
D10. Jesus.
Okay. So he goes up like a Christmas tree, and he is he's like smoldering and flailing and roaring, and he does not feel very good. And he falls to the ground, and the life drains from his eyes as he dies.
Huh.
Damn.
Wow.
You just killed some people.
You just killed two. You just killed two Luke Garus, who are supposed to regenerate 1 HP per round eternally.
Jeez.
All of our good rolls happen now and not any time before.
You want
Yeah,
it
that's
to happen
fine.
now. It's combat.
It's true. And you didn't take any damage, and for your victory, everyone, you all regain 1d6 sanity points.
Yay! That's a
My
6.
sanity. Nice. I got a 6.
4.
Not bad.
They've defeated your werewolf trap puzzle, whatever the mean is.
Loup-garou.
Le Garu.
I'm just kind of angrily staring at my gun and like, should have practiced.
We in danger of setting the house on fire?
Oh yeah, like they are definitely kind of smoking and smoldering, and some certain things are going up. You might want to escape.
Would like this isn't something that we could like stop?
We can't put it out.
Can we?
You could
Sit
try.
with it. That's it,
How
let it
big is the
burn.
fire?
Approximately
fire.
bear-sized.
And raven-sized.
Well,
Well, I try to stamp on the raven-sized fire.
Okay, you kick the raven-sized fire into the fireplace, and it crackles merrily in there.
Oh, that's one problem down.
Is there a kitchen nearby?
Yes, but the water has been turned off.
Oh, wait, since there's a fireplace, is there like sand or something we can, that might be near it that we can...
Fireplace.
No.
Okay.
How long has it been since we used the bathroom?
You cannot piss out the bear fire.
Damn.
Shoot.
Is there a
That's an
well
innovative
outside nearby?
solution, too. Okay.
I mean, the bear's not going to go up like gasoline.
Yes, it is though.
We poured gasoline on it, pretty much.
Please keep in mind, this is not a regular bear. It's a magic bear.
Oh, so we're dealing with magic fire.
You're dealing with regular fire, but it's burning on magic.
Was anyone
like-
any water magic?
It's pretty crispy.
You have died in a world of Donkey Kong. Hi, Grunt. Great.
Okay.
I think we have to...
Okay.
roll.
Yeah. You know what? One
go.
of you roll me ideas. Everyone, roll me idea rolls, please.
Okay.
Oh,
Idea.
Oh no.
Okay, Edgar, you kind of freak out a little bit, and you start trying to like pat it out with your hands, and it gets real hot, and you're like, crap, fuck.
Jeez.
And Ty, you just you grab like a blanket off of the bed that was in there and throw it over the bear to smother it. You pull off the curtains and you go and do that for smothering too.
Okay.
And you manage to smother out the fire, but the bear is dead and the bird is dead. Bear and bird. Banjo 3 has been cancelled.
Brilliant.
That hurts.
Great.
Well,
Okay.
that was interesting and exciting. What do we do now?
Well,
I assume you're going to leave the house first. The
Right.
guest house, rather.
yeah, we're gonna leave the guest house, and I would personally like to take the opportunity to ransack the main house for all the bits of data we can get.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Is there anyone else
You-
here?
you leave the the what's it called?
Guess
You leave the guest house, and outside you actually see Celine.
Oh,
And when she sees you, she smiles, but it's a sad smile.
okay.
And she says, "Well, I am glad that things worked out, according to Stefan's plans. And I am sorry for tricking you, forcing you to go along with my father's plans. If things had gone wrong in there, I would have..." And she stops and she kind of drops a little bit of her sweet persona a bit. She says, "Well, I would have had to kill my father. And I thank you for ensuring that I didn't have to do that. We, my brother and I, will be taking over the McTanish distillery. I'll be able to return to my acting without my father looming over me."
Hmm.
We're going to blame my father's death on Hugh, and my uncle Jacques as well. Though that was Hugh's fault, actually. She looks around a moment and explains. When Hugh discovered that oh no, never mind. It's not when Hugh discovered that my uncle Jacques was trying to tell you not to reverse the curse, he kidnapped him and tortured him until he'd passed away. Jacques had a son, our cousin. He was the eldest of us, but it turns out that my father had something to do with my cousin's death in order that he would become the next head of the McTanish distillery. The sins of his past have come and, well, they've taken him now. I promise you that my brother and I will not wrap you up in any of our family business any longer. But Stefan told me that you should stay away from us. He wants to put all of this behind us. And he doesn't want you to be meddling in our affairs. I'm sure you understand. You mustn't tell anyone what really happened, or else we will be forced to take stronger measures than just a verbal warning.
Well, I don't appreciate being used as a pawn, but I also appreciate, from my years hunting strange creatures like yourself, that no one believes you anyway. So it would be of no use to us to tell anyone. And I don't speak for everyone, but I certainly hope that we don't continue to be caught up in your family's schemes and dealings.
Well, hopefully from now on it will be strictly illegal dealings that my family is embroiled in as opposed to supernatural dealings.
The only thing that confuses me is why you didn't wait for us to break the curse rather than take the matters into your own your own hands per se.
Well, if you broke the curse would have been broken upon my father and Uncle Hugh.
Oh, and you wanted to get rid of them.
Yes, if the curse remained unbroken on them, they would have eventually turned into beasts, and, well, it would have fallen. The company would have fallen into our hands regardless. This way, we would be able to stay out of harm with regards to this curse that our grandfather put on us.
But I guess my question is also, aren't you afraid of dealing with the blood? Like, isn't that like possibly like risky?
She laughs and shakes her head, and she says, "Oh, no. It's just the cost of doing business. They are... Well, I'm sure you understand. I'm not going to be divulging very much to you, but membership for my brother mostly just revolves around payment of dues and occasional ceremonies."
Oh, speaking of payment, did anyone snag those checks?
You totally did not get those checks snagged. And also, the one who would sign those checks is now a wall turkey from Castlevania.
You can forge a signature.
Well, if the kids have...
Yeah, the kids inherit his
That requires some time and court stuff, I think.
I think it's worth waiting for that much money.
I think it's at least worth dropping a hint.
Well, yeah, we're going through craziness. We better get paid.
Yeah, no, the talk of money immediately brings up, like, you're getting to live. Stefan agreed to let you live as a favor to me. So I'll ignore that request. Because I like you. And I don't want my brother to kill you.
Fine, I have really just one question. Do you know what happened to McBride?
She looks to you and honestly and truthfully says, "We have no knowledge of this McBride who you were visiting, or why he has disappeared. We're not going to stop you from looking into that, of course. If we cross paths, just because of that, we'll simply look the other way and ask that you do the same."
Agreed. And I start my way out, but on my way out, I grab the most expensive looking thing I can find.
When you're out of view, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you don't get to go inside, like, the main mansion. Like, you have to cross across the yard in order to get to, so the most expensive thing you can find is probably, like, one of those iron lanterns or something? Or a rake?
A rare bush.
Rare bush.
You come across
Golden-crusted rake.
You come across Gebri.
Fuck that. I take his jacket. No,
I gotta BRB. I need to use the restroom.
Okay.
okay, we'll take a break.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's time for a bio break for sure.
Okay. Perfect.
What were you gonna say, Jay? Oh, okay. Hi, Mom.
Hello, Mom.
I'll be right back as well.
Okay.
Enjoy the bathroom break, everybody.
Yeah. So hey, if you like the sound stuff, that's through Sirenscape. And we'll be making use of them in the future. Thus, I have fulfilled all parts of the attributions. Come on, I gotta be able to take. They're all gone, it's just me. How are you doing out there, chat?
I'm doing okay.
Why am I so concerned about money? I am pretty well off.
Your character? Yeah.
Yeah, me, no.
Purple.
Purple, you're not chat.
You're not chat. not this time.
Okay, he's got us there. Well, look, with my assets and whatnot, is there any way I could like arrange to make up for the loss of payment?
No, you just got swindled.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, being a nice guy, since we were swindled, can I use my assets to pay the party? Something.
That's a net result of 0, though. Like, your assets can just count as party assets, you know?
I guess. But I suppose that only really works in a realistic sense if I hired everybody, which I could do, and then we have an official Mysteries Inc.
I mean, you could, I guess. Possible.
We'll talk about that over some fried chicken or something. I don't know.
Bear mutton.
Yeah.
Well, I know what you could start Speedwagon Incorporated.
Speedwagon.
It's a JoJo reference.
I am back. And I have a piece of French toast.
Of course.
Of course.
So just regular toast?
No, it's actually French toast. It's just that, I don't know, my girlfriend was eating French toast and she left some, and I'm like, hey, that looks good. I'll have that. Thank you.
Well, that's nice. I'm not sure if I would have breakfast for dinner, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's no.
Oh, I would. Love food.
I'm a big breakfast for dinner guy.
Yeah, it's a totally legitimate food choice.
My waffle maker, I've gotten so many miles out of that thing.
Oh, You bet.
Actually, you know what's really good? If you like mix up the stuff to make pancakes, but then you pour that into a rice maker and then let that go for about 35-40 minutes, you end up with this enormous, really fluffy pancake.
Huh.
It's basically
I don't
just
have a rice maker, but that sounds awesome.
cake.
Right? Yeah. It's not pancake, it's like large cake.
Or just cake. But yeah, it's really good. I really, at some point, want to try to make those Japanese souffle style pancakes.
Oh, damn.
I want to learn how to make those too.
They look so fluffy.
They do.
They do look pretty good.
Okay, entirely out of character. This adventure kind of feels. It's weird because
All right, I'm back.
you've got the whole. You've got the body with no
Mhm.
heart. There's a heart that's not the cage. You've got other bodies missing hearts, and then you've got just on top of this a family of werewolves trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
But these two
One
things.
might call it a red herring, meant to distract you from your from your search.
That's what it's starting to
I
feel
thought
like.
we already had a couple of red herrings. Excuse me.
Yeah, because these two things feel like they're not connected at all.
They're really not, unless like the blood took McBride. But we've got nothing on McBride. We've just been dealing with the menagerie here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he gave us info, and then now we don't know where he is.
Well, I have a feeling somehow there's things that are connected, but not like on that level.
Not
Like,
directly, they're tertiarily connected.
yeah.
All the pieces. Okay, who are we still waiting on?
Rowlga.
Ah,
A little boost of sugar here.
Yeah, I've been sipping on a cold coffee here for a bit.
Nice.
Okay, back.
Welcome back.
welcome back. Okay, everybody. So, the end result of the day is you're not beat up at all, so that's good.
Yeah.
Y'all can just head home for the evening. And Madame d'Anjou is like, oh, hello. Welcome back. Have a good evening. I don't know why I decided to do that voice for her. And
Swedish.
She hit the
Yeah.
sauce a little hard today.
We're
all a little shook up.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's do the let's go through your stats.
Yeah.
Improving stats, because that's the end of day 3.
Okay.
So find your skills. If they have a check mark, you can improve it.
And how do we do that again?
You want to roll a D100, and you want to roll higher than your skill level. If you do roll higher than your skill level, you get to roll a D10.
Okay.
What if I roll exactly?
Yeah, I'll count it.
So then a D10 after that?
Yes.
Damn.
4. Okay.
Wow.
Remember, if it says fail, that's actually a success for advancement.
Not going past this one. Yeah. You said D10?
D10.
Yeah. And then you would just add it to the third column in the points spent thing. Oh, right. Libraries.
Not higher. Okay. Eight.
Okay. Anything? Anyone else doing anything?
Oh, I got one more.
Nope.
Yep. D10. 3. Okay. Let's listen. 8. Not hidden. All right.
Okay. So, the next day comes. You get breakfast from Madame d'Anjou, and
Oh, do we get hit points or something
yes,
like that?
you gain 1 hit point for the good night's rest.
Okay. Almost full.
And everybody, you get up, you get breakfast. Madame d'Anjou sets out a full English, we'll call it. And then with your breakfast comes a copy of the paper. And you notice this story in there. Mademoiselle Natalie Colette had her most difficult night at work on Friday. During a late screening of Safety First at the Imperial Theater on Blu-ray, I'm just going to say that because I want to be funny, the usherette was forced to escort a raving patron out of the theater. In the lobby, the man, name withheld, continued to rant and soon became violent. The theater's manager contacted the police and the staff at the Verdun Psychiatric Center. Upon arrival, the boys in white applauded Mademoiselle Colette for capturing a missing patient. He jumped up and down in the middle of the movie and shouted that his blood was boiling, and then he complained how gray the sea was, she described. It's a very funny movie, and he absolutely silenced the audience. Even after he was restrained, he still fought, she continued. The poor man wanted to go somewhere, but at the same time, he tried to stop himself. Apparently, he wanted to drown himself. Official word from Verdun is that he had escaped earlier that day and was hiding out in the theater. He fell asleep and had a nightmare, then woke and began raving. Dr. Lay of the center said that the patient posed no threat to anyone but himself. They are all continuing his care. A happy ending for all.
Oh, wow.
His blood was boiling.
That's what he said, and that the sea was gray. Okay, so this morning, everyone, I'd like y'all to roll some occult rolls.
Okay.
Occult.
Mhm.
Occult.
Nope.
Ooh, just barely.
Okay, so Warren, take your occult skill. And you basically, how it works out is the thought comes to mind that the blood knew about magic. So they should probably be an occult, like, sort of organization. Warren, your local like specialist on this, was unable to really bring up much of anything in that regard. Everyone roll Cthulhu Mythos.
Huh.
I've got 0 in that.
Same.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess I could still spend 13 luck to succeed, or no?
No.
Okay.
I need it.
So basically, you all have no information about the blood, who these might be, or anything about that. So if you wanted to, you could try and do some research, try and figure out who the blood are. Some other options are you could look into the disappearance of Father McBride. The last place that you knew he was heading to was to speak to a friend of his by the name of Robert Lowell, who owned a bookstore, because he was going to take the book that he had and put it there.
That's my vote.
Yeah.
Same.
I feel like at the bookstore we could probably try and find a book about the blood or something. Maybe.
Just a possibility.
Just really concerned about Father McBride. Feel like we've been kind of off track on that.
Yeah.
You have perhaps a little bit, but you did report his missingness to the authorities, so Madame Danjou appreciates that, certainly. All right, so you look up Robert Lowell, and you find that he has a bookstore on 400 St. Jean Street. For 63 years it's been open. And he actually inherited the bookstore from his father in 1900s and has not missed a day of work since. It doesn't take you long to track down the place, though. Sharing picture.
Yeah, it looks like Robert Lau.
So you make your way over. When you enter the open book, you see a large shop with a mezzanine that's crammed with new and used books. Mrs. Lowell greets you. Robert is in the back. He is a fairly short man with small spectacles and strangely shaped hair. It gives him the resemblance of an owl. He wears a navy blue V-neck sweater over an apple green shirt.
I was gonna say it's my persona as a human form.
It's your persona's human sona.
Yeah.
God.
Wow. I'm not even my own human sona. I'm just.
Yeah,
sad.
basically.
Just goes deeper.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, you are greeted by Mrs. Lowell, and Mr. Lowell is kind of at the back at the registers.
Can we ask her about this book concerning what we've heard? Maybe we can try to find out from her if we can find any.
We should probably ask the shop owner.
Right.
Like he's there. You can see him. You just got to go over to him.
Okay, I go over to him.
He seems a little bit jumpy as you approach, and he looks up at you and says, "Yes, how can I help you?"
We really need to find out information about our friend, Father McBride. We haven't seen him in quite a while, and last time we heard he was, he sought you out for something.
He kind of starts as you mention the name McBride, and he looks around a bit, and he says, "All of you, please come with me into the back room."
Okay.
All right.
I call the others over to follow him.
As you move back there, he says, "I've known Father McBride since the day he arrived in Montreal. I've been happy to help him many a times. He was actually here in the store a couple of days ago. He showed me an old Tibetan hymn book. Told him it was probably from the 16th century, nothing really important. I have one similar to it."
Oh.
Okay. May we see that book that's similar?
He pauses for a moment, and a smirk flits across his face. "You can borrow it for a couple of days if you wish." And he says it clearly confident that you'll be unable to read a single line of it.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. But do you have any idea where he could be now? Like, did he seem to? Was he just there for the book, or like?
He's rummaging around through his books trying to find his own copy that was similar to the one that you found, and he said, no, and I truthfully have no idea where he's been. It's unfortunate to hear that he's missing, though. Last I saw, he was just walking out the door and heading on out to return to the priory.
I ask him, is everything all right? You seem really nervous about something. Something happened?
Oh, no, nothing at all like that. He manages to find the book and says, "Oh, here we are." He turns to you all and he hands it to you. It's in pretty bad shape. It's got a cover ripped off, its paper is yellow and withered, and the characters are all hard to read. And he says, "It's written in ancient Tibet, and there's several missing pages, unfortunately, in my copy. The father had a much more preserved copy."
I very, very, very carefully take it and put it away safely.
Okay.
And also, I'd like to. I want to look around without making it obvious that I'm looking around.
I mean, it's a bookshop.
We're in the back room of a bookshop.
You are in the back room of a bookshop.
If we can distract them, maybe you can, poke around a little bit.
Just define for me what you mean by look around without looking like you're looking around.
Does anything look out of place? Anything suspicious? Signs of a scuffle?
Nothing.
A door that should not be? That sort of thing?
You see nothing.
All right.
I guess I would ask him, was Father McBride interested in any other books in your shop?
There was nothing that he was particularly interested at this time. He was simply looking for my expertise on the book that he had obtained.
I'm having a weird flashback. This is out of character, by the way. I swear the book he showed us in the very beginning was Coptic. Coptic.
Yeah, it did say Coptic, and it became Tibetan at some point. It should actually be Tibetan.
Okay.
A very rare book.
All right, cool. So it's a typo in the campaign, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
So could any of us attempt to read it? Maybe roll a check to see if we recognize some words in it or something?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll Tibet language.
Okay.
I don't have that.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest we
I don't
go
see
to
it either.
I was gonna suggest we go to the university and have someone.
Find someone that could help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked him if he wanted to learn more about this book, who would he go to in this city?
Well, I suppose I'd search for a professor who speaks Tibetan. I'd ask for his services as translation.
That was fairly obvious.
Well, that was less specific than I was hoping, but makes sense.
Oh.
My dog is barking.
Let's see. Just let me have a look-see at these things here. Yeah, Cristobal, you really feel like this guy's giving you all that he can give. You shouldn't really waste your time here much longer.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mr. Is it Lau or
Lowell.
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 All right.
Thank you.
We'll be on our way, and we'll make sure we get this back to you with all due haste.
No, take your time. You can have it for a few days at least. I'm certainly not going to miss it in that amount of time.
Okay. I'm gonna head back out front. You said the wife is there?
Yep.
I'm gonna kind of step over towards her real quick on the way out and be like, and good day to you, Ms. Lowell. By chance, did you have a chance to talk to Father McBride while he was here?
Oh, why, yes. Just in passing, he was quite excited to meet with my husband. They were together for several hours. I had to leave to start cooking dinner before they were finished, though, so I didn't see him leave.
Ah, okay. He didn't mention he was gonna go anywhere else, did by chance?
No, he just said that he had some guests. I suppose those were you, and he was happy to play host to his old friends. But no, he was nothing at all like that.
Ah, all right. Well, good day to you. Give her kind of a half, half polite bow and waltz on out.
And you waltz 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Ah.
Okay, so you now have this Tibet thing.
We could try to find a scholar or somebody that can read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, our best bet would be the university. So,
Yeah, let's go there.
All right, we'll flag down a cab and go that way.
You head on over to the university. Alrighty then. Yeah, it's a very simple enough procedure in order to find someone and ask for help in translating it. Let's see here. What is your credit rating there, Cristobal? Your spending level is 50.
Yes.
50, 19, 30 dollars. Yeah, you've got more than enough to just pay off the guy. Who, like, whatever he asks, you could haggle or you could not haggle. It doesn't matter. You're still going to be able to do it. So you give him the book that you would like translated, and he says, "Yes, I'll be able to work on this for you. I'll need a fair bit of time. This appears to be some rather sloppy text, or hastily written, rather. If you could come back tomorrow, that would give me enough time, I think."
All right, until tomorrow then.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Is the I forget if the university is also the library.
it would have one, I would guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're at the actual university and you're going to the library of the university. What would you like to do?
Well, I'd like to research more on the blood.
You want to research more in the blood? Perfect. I was trying to figure out how it would make you guys do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Library use rolls, please.
All right.
Oh, boy,
My
boy.
specialty.
Oh god, oh, I can.
Come on.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Oops.
Well, we got an extreme success, so I guess.
Those of you who succeeded, make sure you check off that skill.
So do I check off the skill if I spend some luck?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna spend my luck because, like, I'd like to increase that skill.
Absolutely. Oh, wait a second. Before you do that, I forgot everyone else has to roll for their luck skill
Oh, right.
to improve it.
Just roll against itself.
Yeah, just roll a d100. If you roll higher than a luck, you increase by 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Shoot. There we go.
Okay. Library use. Okay. So I spent my 4 luck and removed the.
Yeah.
Oh, my library check didn't come up. Hang on.
And you roll a d10 to increase it, or you just increase it by 10?
Roll a d10 to increase it. Yes, sorry.
Oh,
There we go.
Oop. You could just take the 10.
I failed anyway.
Oh, nice. Okay. So it takes about 8 hours worth of studying at the university there to find a little bit of information. And you learn that the Blood of the Heart was a cult that was founded a little over 1,000 years ago by an Arab man named Arja. Nothing is known about the man except that he began his teachings after returning from travels in Sang, a region somewhere in northern Tibet. He brought with him a scripture of blood upon which the cult was based.
Sang, S-A-N-G?
T-S-A-N-G.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
You can literally grab that out of chat and drag it into your notes.
Oh.
Oh, I should be doing that more then. Oops.
Yeah,
Sorry, you should have told me.
I just now found out.
Oh. All right. So, mentioned in the Wars of the Ottoman Empire, the Blood helped to defeat European invaders in 1148 during the Second Crusade. They were defeated in the Third Crusade in 1191, which was led by Richard the Lionhearted. Nothing more about them is mentioned until 1519, when the Ottomans expanded into Syria, and the empire had its golden age over the next half century.
You should.
The resurrection of the group is credited to the new leader, Arja James. Yes, I was doing it. I was reading it out first. And I'm sure you're all wondering why the Blood came to Montreal.
Yes.
Roll history, please.
Ooh, I don't know if my history is very good.
Nothing in history.
It's okay.
Hey, Warren, you figured it out.
All right.
So did Cristobal. Both of you, check your history skills.
Yay.
You remember that in the 17th century, the Messieurs de Saint-Sulpice made an open request to various organizations in France to aid in expanding the colony of Montreal. One of those requests must have been made to the Blood at some point. To follow up on that, you can head on over to the Archives Nationales de Québec and look for the letters. Les lettres des messieurs. And then I'm going to need another library use roll.
Jeez.
Check your successes when those come out. Oh no, Edgar.
Oh
Or burns down the library.
Fuck.
Drops the book down the stairwell.
Banned
No.
as I was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you do get kicked out of the library, but your friends make a copy because everything's written in French.
So
But
they needed me.
They needed you. You did something stupid and got kicked out. Maybe you were like, I know what you're doing. You were licking your fingers as you were like flipping through pages on these very ancient books. And they were like, no! And you got kicked out. But your friends...
But I like the taste.
Your friends write things down and are able to transcribe it and have you translate it for them outside. And you find one correct letter. A letter written by one James Andrews, who informs Les Messieurs that his fellowship, like the Empire of the French King, has fallen on difficult times. However, he and the few remaining members will be sailing on Le Côte de l'Éléphant from Montreal within the year. He also wishes that the news of their coming be kept quiet. He represents the Blood as a pious sect who follow his leadership in good deeds and Christian meditation. Here it is. You found the connection.
Oh.
Ah.
Right, James Andrews.
Okay.
So, the Blood. they're connected to James Andrews, the man who became mistaken for Sankuti. And also, to translate, Le Cœur d'Éléphant is the name of the boat, which translates to the heart of the elephant.
Heart of an elephant.
Yeah, just the name of a boat. Like the Going Merry or the Thousand Sunny.
Or the sea bitch.
Or the beagle.
Yeah, those things. Especially the Sea Bitch.
Bodie McBoatface.
Or Bodie McBoatface. So you've discovered some information now. You've discovered the link between these two threads. I've connected them. You haven't connected shit. I've connected to them. That's a favorite meme of mine.
Oh yeah, so it's the the blood is connected to the church, and
The blood is connected to James of Andrews.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Yeah.
So
That corroborates what happened during the seance too, right?
Yeah, it does. Okay, so you've got a little bit of information. Like I said, it's probably taken a fair bit of the day. Evening is coming.
I'm having a hard time thinking of what even to do next.
Yeah.
Just give me one moment here. Okay, so night has come. And you're all leaving. Actually, no, what? Not quite. I'll give you a thing that you can do here. Remember earlier there were discussions about dead bodies with their hearts removed?
Yep.
At one point you had discussed the idea of meeting with the person who wrote the articles, but you never actually followed up on that. But you could do now. You could go to the Montreal Star.
This late at night?
The newspaper runs 24 hours a day.
Doesn't mean the reporter does.
A good reporter always does. I'm gonna say that it's actually like this was kind of basically all that you did today was research on the blood and talk to a dude. So 8 hours plus 8 in the morning means it's 6. So
Yeah, let's just take our chances and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. That works.
The offices are busy night and day in the Montreal Star. This is a great era for newspapers, and this newspaper runs 24 hours a day with 9 editions on weekdays, the first at 3 a.m. and the last at 10 p.m. Alain Gaston works in the long, crowded city room, along with about 30 other reporters, all of whom seem to be yelling on the telephone while firing spitballs at one another. Directed by pointing fingers, the investigators find themselves in the center of combat and find themselves looking at a mischievous, dark-haired young man who introduces himself as Le Roi des Elastiques.
That's the guy that wrote
The King of Rubber Bands.
He looks like the Mad Magazine guy.
He does.
He does a little bit.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, the gray-haired city editor sticks his head out of the office and shouts for quiet. The volume of the war subsides, but perhaps only for a few minutes. This young man is Alain Gaston. He is willing to talk about some of what he knows, but he needs to know what you have to offer. So, Alain Gaston, he says that, you know what, I'm just going to use the same voice here.
Please don't.
Fuck you, I do what I want.
There you go.
I'm willing to give you some information, certainly, about these bodies. I'm willing to name names or conceal names, but I need sources and names to give to my editors in order to protect my newspaper from civil or government action. So why are you interested in these murders in the first place?
I got this.
Yeah.
Our friend Father McBride. Hold on.
Maybe as an aside to everybody. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I got a package. Oh, it's that thing you sent me, Iggy. I got it.
Yay! Did you get that thing I sent you?
I got the thing you sent me. So yeah, I was saying, our friend Father McBride, discovered underneath the priory a body missing its heart. So the heart, we have it. It's in perfect condition.
Oh, he's like leaning in on this, and he's writing down the name that you say, like Father Philip McBride finds body, etc., etc.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's missing.
Oh, interesting. And he writes down, scribbles down, missing priest and stuff like that, and he's just scribbling the whole time, right?
Right, and then as you know, several more bodies showed up in conditions similar to the one he found. We think there's a connection.
Well, there certainly could be. He thinks for a moment, and he muses slightly. Keep in mind, you have already been to see these bodies in the first place. You don't have to tell him that. But he says, I can give you the information that I know about these surprising corpses and where they were found, at least.
Go
Okay.
on.
I'm looking for it. Jeezy crazy. Aha. Here we go. He's gonna say, I'm just gonna need a small amount of time to reconfer with my sources. If you wouldn't mind coming back just in an hour or two, I'll be able to give you all the information that you need. I have to make sure that the information that I have is properly. The names are properly changed to protect the innocent and such.
Works for me.
Okie dokie.
I will be right back, but go on without me.
Okay. So you have a few hours to kill, just a couple. So you decide to return to the what's the word I'm looking for? You return to the church. Yeah, you return to the church, and there is Madame Danjou. She creates a hearty lunch for you all. And she expresses her dismay that the police have not done anything to help find Father McBride. Yeah. She's slightly forlorn, but still she looks to all of you and says, "I'm not sure if I can trust the police on this. I know that you are looking into things, and I appreciate those efforts. Thank you so much." And it's just a good time all around, really. She expresses her satisfaction with at least you're doing something, and visibly doing something. So,
right. Can I ask, as an aside, like how long has Father McBride been gone? Has it been 48 hours, something like that, or has it been like over 24 or something like that?
I think it's been over 48 by now. You've already reported him missing,
right? Because I think it's been close to 2 days by now.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few days worth of you didn't see each other, but you know, it was definitely a thing. Everyone stretch. It's been redeemed.
There we go. I feel like at this point the police aren't going to help at all.
No, maybe not. You know, 1312, but right after supper, you receive a call. It's from one terrified Alain Gaston, the reporter from the Montreal Star.
Oh.
His voice is quivering, and he whispers that he thinks that those responsible for the murders in the city are after him. They're threatening to kill him. He tells you that he has something that you need to see, and to meet him as soon as possible at the observation platform on top of Mount Royal.
Oh. Oh, shoot.
Well, let's book it. Let's get up there.
Yeah, we get there.
Yeah.
Don't forget your guns.
Yeah.
Oh,
of course, the guns.
On me. I'm mad at my gun. Oh wait, have I had time to like repair it, or is it in working order now?
Yeah, it's in working order now. Like your jam just there's like a little bit of like some elbow grease to get it fixed up.
Oh, okay. Just smack it a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. But you get it going and it's okay now. It stopped raining, but the night is cold atop Mount Royal. Gaston chose a simple railed platform at the end of the main road, which leads up to the mountain. From here, you can see the entire city laid out in the glowing lights of night.
It's I went there multiple times. It's very, very nice.
Wow.
Is that where the popometer is?
The what?
Sorry, I visited some friends at McGill once, and they called the cross on top of the mountain. They called it the Popeometer because it changes colors according to the health of the Pope or something like that.
Oh shit! No, I did not know that. But yeah, there's the big cross near there.
That's the Popometer. Okay.
I'm going to see that when I go to Montreal then.
You're going to get your butt kicked if you pronounce it Montreal.
Well, I know. I'm just a dumb American. Montreal. Is that better?
No.
Okay.
Montreal.
Montreal. That's more like Southern kind of.
Yeah,
I'll get it. By the time I get up there, I'm going to speak it perfectly.
Remember, it's French. Most of the letters, you don't pronounce them.
Right.
You just kind of slur over them.
No, they're there to look fancy.
There.
With their accents.
Shared a couple pictures just to give an idea.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that is nice. Except this is in the 1920s.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, never mind.
So it's been about 15 or 20 minutes. Everyone please roll spot hidden. I'll roll for Cristobal since Jay is still stepped away, I believe.
Neat.
Wow, an 11.
Oh heck, we all see it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Everyone check your skills.
Okay.
You spot a pale figure below running through the trees.
Pale figure.
A pale figure. Do you investigate?
Yes.
Wait. We're still waiting for the guy, or are we up there by ourselves? What happened?
Yeah, you went up there and you're supposed to meet him there, but he hasn't shown up yet.
Okay, and all we're seeing is this figure moving through the trees. Is it the time that he said to meet us here?
It's past the time.
It's past the time. Okay. We should probably go check then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody with me?
Yeah. Let's move to intercept.
Let's do it.
We just took down a bear. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, we're
fair enough. You move to investigate this pale figure moving through the trees.
What I miss?
Okay, Alain Gaston was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I think I'm about to get murdered. I have something you need to see. Come hang out." And so you did.
We're on top of Mont Royal in the observatory thing.
Yeah. And you find 2 more bloodless bodies now, is what you've just found. One is a male about 30, and the other is a woman about 50. Both bodies are naked and unbelievably pale. Like the others that you saw in the morgue, the hearts have been snipped out and all blood has been drained from their bodies. Warren, since you have a flashlight, you can have a closer look here. Each body exhibits a few old stab wounds, which were made by an odd knife or knives, small wounds made with hooked blades. Further, there appears to be some circular compression on the shrunken faces of the corpses. Where the body is not so thoroughly drained of blood, it looks as if there might be some deep bruising across the faces. Roll listen.
Why can't I? Oh, here it is.
Oop. That was accidentally did library use.
I'm spending the luck.
I got extreme success.
Never mind.
All right. Those of you who have rolled successes, check your skills. You notice a sound of several people moving downhill away from you through the brush or grass. And please roll another spot hidden, everybody.
Not this time.
Good job.
Yes.
Good job. Good job. You see a pale figure stumbling towards you. It's Elaine. He is naked. A gaping hole is in his chest, marking his missing heart. Like the other corpses, he too has been drained of blood, but that doesn't stop him from lurching forward. Everyone roll sanity for me.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Jeez, I cannot succeed a sanity roll.
Those of you who rolled successfully, you lose 1 sanity. Those of you who failed, roll 1d6 and lose that much sanity.
Oh, I'm level 4.
Oh, Johnny,
Huh?
you rolled 4.
I did.
You get to use
I
the
don't like
table?
I get to use the table.
Yay! This is where I would play the Price is Right music if I knew where it was.
The
What table is this?
insanity table, of course.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
it's the best part of Call of Cthulhu. Because when this happens, you have a chance of developing an obsession with something.
Well, first things first. He has a bout of madness.
Yeah, that.
Oh.
So you lose control of your investigator. It is surrendered to me.
What? Okay.
So you oh no, it's if you lose 5 or more sanity points. Damn it.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm on the edge of losing my control of my body.
Yeah, because you go temporarily insane and I take control, but no. No. Boo. Okay, you don't lose control of your sanity. You're just like, ah!
I'm alive.
Anyway, at the same moment, blah, 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 the other 2 previously motionless bodies rise and move towards you, blah, blah.
That's a body.
Oh shit! I think this guy ate like one of those like super like sour sugary like jawbreakers.
Probably.
But
Yikes.
The Seekers. Okay.
Yeah, that's the call. Okay, we're putting these people in here. You go in here, you go in here, you go in here. Excellent.
But yeah, to go on about the table, there'd be a bout of madness, and then there's a side effect where you can develop a phobia or a mania. And there's
Wow.
there's tables for it in the reference manual, but like you could wind up with like I don't know, if a dog attacked you and it drove you nuts, you could develop a fear of dogs.
Or it can be totally unrelated.
Or it could be totally unrelated, but you could also wind up with a unhealthy obsession with dogs,
Okay.
or blood, or toenails, or guns, or fish.
Or gaping holes in people's chests.
Or
Yeah, or you could.
or an extreme desire to take part in lotteries.
Yeah. Anyways, combat time, everybody.
Yay!
Combat time.
I'm going to assume that you folks didn't have time to draw your guns. You didn't have those drawn?
No.
Excellent.
Flashlight.
You have a flashlight. That's not a gun.
He drew his flashlight, yeah.
Yeah, my flashlight's drawn.
This is just for the matter of determining initiative order.
I can shoot lasers from my flashlight. It's secretly a lightsaber.
Warren just goes wom 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 out loud.
Everyone's like, "You all had this, or he had this the whole time."
And since it's the 1920s, we have no idea what Star Wars is.
Yeah, it's an original item right there. I just created Star Wars.
Let's see if you live long enough to make money off of it.
Okay, Edgar. You're first in the order.
Okay. So I take my big gun and I shoot Sandy.
You're shooting Sandy. Okay, roll to hit. I'm going to give you the point blank modifier because you're close enough.
Fail.
Roll with this extra d10.
Wouldn't that make it harder?
No. It can make it harder, or it can make it easier.
So, okay, I rolled an extra d10. What does that do?
So that 9 replaces the 4, so you rolled a 94 or a 44. You could spend 19 luck to succeed.
Well, I only have
20.
20.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that you could.
Up to you.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's do it.
Okay. And Sandy here is going to counter.
Okay.
Nope. So you succeed in your shotgunning of Sandy here. And you just like go boom.
So
And she staggers backwards ever so slightly. But she continues, she just leans right forward again and starts her shuffle back over towards you. And she moans and groans, and she's reaching out to you. And it's her turn now, and so she's going to try and grab you.
oh fuck. Okay. So I don't do any damage.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anyway, what are you going to do? Sandy's coming at you. Are you going to attack or dodge or what?
I'm gonna try to dodge.
Okay, roll a dodge.
What's okay? Dodge.
Okay, check your dodge skill. You successfully dodge out of the way of Sandy as she's reaching out. She's trying to grab you and like pull you closer to her. There's an expression of need on her face. Her withered, shrunken face, like that of a man dying of thirst seeing water. Johnny, it's your turn.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second. Edgar, also make sure you check your firearm skill.
Oh. Firearm. Thank you.
Anyway, yeah, Johnny, it's your turn.
Okay. I think I'm going to attempt to grapple one of them, whichever one is closest.
Okay.
Don't have a lot of faith in my gun.
Let's say it's Sandy.
Okay. So roll a brawl or something?
Yeah, you roll brawl to make a maneuver, a combat maneuver. Okay, that's a fail. And you fail at grabbing her. Like her motions are just so odd and weird. And next is Cristobal's turn.
Okay, so we're outside.
Yes.
All right. And you said that we bought some fire starters, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to set Sandy on fire.
Okay. We roll brawl. That's what it is for a combat maneuver.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay. You drop your thing as you're going for her. No, wait a second. I forgot. You get a bonus die because Sandy is already occupied by Johnny.
That's a D10?
Yeah. 27. That's a success.
Oh, good.
All right. So you go at her with your little torch there, and check your brawl skill.
Yeah.
And you set her on fire. And the fire burns and starts to build over her, but she's still moving.
Jeez.
And it's Elaine's turn. Let's see here. Edgar, you were the one who heard Elaine, so you were probably the first one to see him. So he's going towards you. He's going to try and grab you.
So since I already tried to dodge, do I...
You are unable to
Okay.
do anything this time until your next turn comes around. And he's going to like reach and grab at you, and he just looks like a man in the desert who's found an oasis, and you're able to just barely bat him away. There is something intent that he's trying to do as he's moaning and groaning. And it is now Lynn's turn, and Lynn is going towards Ty.
Okay.
You want to counterattack or to dodge, or what do you want to do?
I'm gonna pull out my knife.
Okay.
Try to counterattack with the knife.
Going for a stabby stab. Okay, roll brawl. Nice. All right. Go ahead and check your brawl skill. And you slash directly across this creature's throat, while managing to bat away the arms that are reaching and groping for you. But even though you pierce through the trachea, no blood falls from its neck, no breath comes from its breast. This is a thing that should not move and should not be, and still it moves, and it comes for you. Warren, it's your turn.
Okay, well, we should probably be backing up from them. It's, I say, we can just like set fire to them and let them all burn out.
You can try it.
Is kind of what I'm thinking.
Give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
We're all just like faster than them, so I mean, I don't know how close they are to me, but I would like to take a few steps back.
Okay, you probably... Did you want to set it on fire first, or...?
Am I allowed to do those two actions, set it on fire, then like start running away from it?
Yes. That's a movement.
Okay. Then yeah, which one's closest to me?
Lynn.
Then Lynn. Let's go get burned.
Okay.
That's fighting brawl.
Yes.
Regular success.
Okay. You reach out and you set fire to the beast. and the flames start to lick up its chest. But as you reach out, Lynn grabs you by the wrist in a vice-like, impossibly strong grip, and you are held by Lynn.
Okay.
Ty,
That's
it's now
not
your
the two
turn.
actions I said.
Well, I'm very sorry, but you just got grappled.
Yeah, I guess.
Ty, it's your turn.
Oh, I'll just keep up with the stab. It seems prudent to keep aiming for the neck. Try to like cut its head off or something.
You have a knife.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how
bones exist.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess this isn't a sword or something like that, but whatever. I'm gonna keep stabbing.
I was gonna recommend that you try doing the old neck snap, but all right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing that.
Wait a second. I think I messed up the turn order here. We should have gone up to the top, sorry. Because you already went... Yeah.
So that was a counterattack.
Oh, no, you're right. Okay, you're keeping up the stabby stab. All right, roll, go. Oh, that's a success. And you can actually roll with a bonus die. See if you can get even lower.
Oh. No.
Yeah.
Or is that
yes.
That is low?
That's lower.
So, okay.
We
had a double zero. What does that mean?
No, wait a second. You rolled a 10. Okay, so no, yeah, the 40.
Yeah,
it was 40 or a fumble. Okay, you go again with the stabby stab on Lynn, who's still like gripping Warren, and it's not looking so good there, actually. Like, the stabbing doesn't seem to be taking much effect. It's still grabbing a hold of Warren.
I noticed you're not asking us to roll damage.
Oh, yeah, am I? Edgar, it's your turn.
Okay, so which one is so Sandy is on fire.
Sandy is on fire and Lynn is on fire, and Lynn is also grappling Warren.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to shoot Lynn, because like that, the earlier that made Sandy like kind of move back, so I'm guessing maybe that's gonna help like break the grip.
Nice stunner.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you're gonna move around and like position yourself so you're not aiming at Warren?
I guess, yeah, I don't know. Like,
yeah, you're going for like a flanking maneuver. All right.
Aim for the arm.
That's a smaller target.
Yeah, obviously I don't want to shoot Warren. I just want to shoot Lynn.
Yeah. If you're in a close position, you can do like a close shot to the limb with point blank damage, giving you a bonus die.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Oh, fumble.
Oh god. Well, I got a bonus one, so
That's true. So roll that next one. 10.
Ooh.
Okay.
So
wow. So it's extreme success or like fumble?
yeah, no, it's an extreme success.
Okay, so I guess. Wait, did I? Yeah, it's already checked. Okay.
Okay, so you cock your shotgun, and you aim for the elbow of the arm that is currently grabbing onto Warren, and you shoot and fire. And the arm it snaps. It's like they are so devoid of blood, they are so dried out that it snaps like kindling. And the arm, still with a tight grip on Warren, like a dead man's grip, literally, comes apart as the flames continue to lick up Lynn's body. Next is Sandy's turn. And flames lick across Sandy's body, and everywhere that the flame touches and burns, what's left behind is putrefaction as opposed to burning and ash. And as she still continues to reach out and writhe and stagger towards you, Johnny, you watch as she literally, before your very eyes, decomposes and rots and falls to pieces as the flames lick across her and is finished.
Damn.
And Johnny, it's your turn.
Okay. So we have one that's not on fire and still attacking, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'm probably going to go for that one, and I should still have my knife on me as well, my large knife. I think I will brandish it and go for a cut.
On the one that isn't on fire?
On the one that is not on fire.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Might be a different one. Oh!
Excellent. Okay, so what are you trying to do with this knife? Like, tell me what you're doing.
I'll just go for a limb or something that would, stop them in their tracks. I don't think I can get a clear shot at like their chest or something, but I'll definitely like go for a limb or major.
I am going to point out that chest cavity is empty.
Right.
So yeah, if you want to dead space it, you can dead space it. Go for the limb.
Dead space it. I think I could dead space it and go for either a leg or an arm.
Okay. Pick which one.
Leg.
Okay. You go for a leg. And it's Alain. And roll damage for me.
Okay. That's a D8.
Yeah.
That's what it says. 4.
Okay. You hack through a good fair bit of this leg. You don't cut it off, but you do break it in such a way that as soon as the weight of this thing is put on that leg, it snaps and falls to the ground.
Yeesh. Wow.
Cristobal, it's your turn.
So the reporter is still wandering around. Which one's on the ground?
Alain is the one that's on the ground.
Okay, so the other one's on
the
fire.
Reporter. Yes.
I'm gonna try to kick her in the knee from the side to break her leg.
Okay. Roll brawl.
I'm spending the 4.
Okay. So you go for a kick and roll damage for me. That's not damage.
That's not damage.
Okay, yeah. So you kick, and that knee snaps sideways the incorrect way,
Right.
and she falls flaming to the ground. And that's your turn.
And then I get out of the way.
And then you get out of the way.
Then I am my turn.
Elaine here. He's gonna like crawl towards you, Johnny. He's still trying to he's got a no leg, no problem. He's crawling and he's trying to grab at you from the ground.
Whoa.
What are you gonna do, Johnny? Are you gonna counterattack or dodge?
I'll probably dodge it since it's somewhat incapacitated.
Okay, go ahead and roll dodge.
Okay, that's the dex.
There's an actual dodge skill.
Oh, there's hang on. Dodge. There it is. Okay. Oof.
Okay, so you stumble a little bit with your dodge, but fortunately, Elaine was unable to succeed.
Okay.
And with Lynn, once more, the flames lick across her, and wherever the flame touches, putrefaction takes place. And she's crawling and reaching for you, Warren, and she's unable to get close enough to you before she burns and rots into this sludge on the ground and is destroyed. Warren, it's your turn.
So, yeah, let's, Elaine is still up.
Elaine is on the ground, not on fire.
Oh, okay. Well, then, I'm going to sneak at it from behind and light the foot on fire. That way it can't reach me.
Okay. Go ahead and attack, and because it's on the ground and backwards and stuff, take a bonus die.
Wait, so I don't have to roll Fighting Brawl?
You do have to roll Fighting Brawl.
Okay. Did you? Nope.
Well, you have another one. Like, you roll another d10.
Another D10. Oops, wrong one.
Yeah, no, you miss. Ty, how you doing?
Well, then, yeah, it has become painfully obvious that all this other stabby and everything stuff isn't doing anything, and fire is super effective again. So I also pull out that
that torch,
and try to set Elaine on fire.
Okay, roll the thing. Roll. Okay, good. You set him on fire. If you guys just stay away from him, he's gonna burn to death. So we can just,
just back away.
yeah, everyone just back away, and he burns and rots and dies, and there you go. And congratulations,
Hooray.
everyone.
They all burned to death. Yay.
They all burned to death. But unfortunately, Elaine is dead, and whatever just happened, you're unsure of who or what, but it's quite obvious that someone in town is going against you. You don't know what's going on, and you're not safe. This is where we're going to end for this week. Congratulations on completing the first leg and starting to see where things interact. Looking forward to next week. And we'll see you again on Thursday, folks.
Was that the end of the day, or will we handle the end of day stuff next session?
We'll handle the end of day stuff next session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Okay, folks. Thank you all so much for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And we're going to do that rady thing.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for spending your evening with us. Love sharing this stuff with you guys. Special thanks to our subscribers scrolling on screen now. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider a subscription via Amazon Prime, or if you don't want to go through Amazon, there's a Patreon link down below. Check out our YouTube for past playthroughs, and check out our Twitter at Team Retrofox. Keep up with our schedule and say hi, because, you know, social media, socialization, and all that. Yeah. We're going to do a raid. And we're going to raid our friend... None of my friends are streaming. What is this? Nope, Shiro's streaming. We're going to raid Shiro. We'll see you tomorrow, Wiz. I think we're doing Raft. Have a good night. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.